In case you're wondering why I have my phone in my hand, it's also my script. So you can stop your judgmentalness. I can't believe this is my third video on Titans. I feel like it's my holy trinity, and it's especially weird because every single video I have on Titans, my setup is drastically different than the last. This just goes to show that I should start making more videos on Titans if I want to have more drastic changes in my life. Yes, this video will be discussing spoilers, so if you haven't seen the first season, I highly recommend you watch it before you view this video, but then again, it's a free country and also do whatever you feel like doing. The Titan Season 2 trailer, oh wait, it's a first look, not an actual trailer. I guess they wanted to test the waters of how people felt about this before they continue with the full-blown trailer, considering how overwhelmingly positive the last trailer reactions went.
These photos look like shit.
Okay, so if you've seen my last two videos, you know I've supported this project since day one, and this isn't going to be another one of those I'm right and you're wrong kind of videos. I have no idea how to wink. I'm simply making this video to reflect on my last two videos, talk about how much I've changed, talk about how my opinion may have changed, and just what I'm expecting from the upcoming season. So what did I think of the first season? I loved it. The action scenes, the character moments, the cute, quirky little interactions between the younger Titans. But my favorite moments came from when the show put aside DC's signature dark and gritty nature and really brought forth that comic book inspiration feel. Moments like Jason Todd taking on the police officers, Donna Troy fighting Starfire with her lasso, and come on, who didn't love that Doom Patrol episode? However, my downright favorite moment in the entire first season was during the second episode, when Hawk and Dove were fighting a bunch of bad guys and Robin swoops down to assist them, all to the campy, upbeat tone of a remixed Kids of America. Absolutely fantastic. Like I previously said, I love the character interaction, and in a scene like this, a lot is shown about these characters without having to say a word.
So what is this? Night out with the bad kids?
Let me smash, please.
I really did feel like Dick had known these heroes for as long as they implied, and in every moment like this, you could feel that larger world show itself. However, no show is without flaws, and like many before it, Titans had a few. Off the top of my head, my first issue with the show kind of has to come from the fact that the plot didn't really take off for a while, and when it finally did, it felt kind of rushed and convoluted, leading to a lot of characters to make a few questionable decisions. That, and anytime the plot did advance, the show would take you right out the next episode to show you a flashback or some kind of side plot line that wasn't really relevant to the main plot at all. Given that the first season was 11 episodes long, I felt like these almost filler-like episodes were blatantly unnecessary. And since Titans was the kickoff to DC's brand spanking new streaming service, it was crucial that the show was successful. These episodes did nothing but give us more insight to our already established characters that could have very easily been worked into our mainline episodes, like the Hawk and Dove episode. If they did it in the second episode, why couldn't they do it for the rest of the season? Another flaw I can go on about is the costume design, and yes, I know I defended it in my last video, and I still am. However, I have some thoughts that I want to expand on. So yes, the costume design for established heroes was fantastic. Dick's costume and the wear and tear on Hawk and Dove's was a quality that other comic book TV shows have a hard time matching. Yet our less established heroes like Raven and Beast Boy wore just their favorite shirt and a pair of jeans. Yes, you can say I'm being a little nitpicky, especially since the show did establish several times that characters like Raven, Beast Boy, and even Starfire were just starting off and therefore don't really have a costume. But the costume design, or lack thereof, was such a distraction, especially when you put it in contrast with Robin, Hawk, or Dove's costumes, that it really brought these little details to the spotlight. When thinking about the longevity of the show, and seeing how the second season appears to do a much needed change on the costume design, it's not that fatal of a flaw. Especially when you put yourself in the mindset that the show wants you to. And that's that Raven, Beast Boy, and Starfire are just starting out, and therefore don't really have a costume to put on. Now eventually we can get their iconic costumes that we all know and love, but it's gonna have to be a minute. Now my biggest and final complaint about the show comes from its almost controversial season finale. Okay, so I already gave you a spoiler warning at the beginning of this video. That warning is now. So if you haven't seen the first season, really skip ahead. Towards the end of the season, it's revealed that Raven's mom was working for Trigon in a radical attempt to summon him to unleash fury on the Earth. Dick finds out about this betrayal and sets off to find Raven. However, he's caught in an illusion world presented by Trigon in an attempt to thwart him away from Raven. This illusion world is 98% of the season finale. This goes back to what I talked about, where the show takes you right when it starts to pick up. In this illusion world, Batman of all people is going crazy and murdering cops and crooks in Gotham City. So crippled Jason Todd recruits Dick, who's living a handsome life with Dove and their child, to help him stop the big bad bat. Dick ends up killing Batman, seeing no other choice, bringing the whole first season's theme of moving on from the darkness inside into a full circle. Then, right after that happened, it's revealed that it was just an illusion world. Big surprise. And Trigon takes control of Dick's inner darkness. Then it ends. Just like that. A cliffhanger on the first season when they weren't guaranteed to get a second. Now, I get wanting to keep your viewers on edge and get them anticipated for the next season, but this could have been executed a million times better. Also, I cannot be the only one who's tired of cheesy cop-out cliffhanger endings. I'm looking at you, The Walking Dead. However, this wasn't the first season's original ending. No, this really was an unplanned cop-out. Originally, the Trigon fight was to conclude the season where the whole team bands together and forms the beloved Titans that we know. So why was it cut? To put it simply, the showrunners preferred the cliffhanger ending and wanted to save the ending for season 1 for the premiere of season 2. Now, I spent this entire video not criticizing the showrunners because I understand that when something bad happens in a TV show, it's not just one person's fault. There are hundreds of people who work on these dang things and they're all equally at fault. This is, however, my only exception. I'm no expert showrunner, but ending the first season on a brand new show with an already controversial following and skeptical viewers on a cliffhanger was, in my opinion, completely idiotic. Especially when you take into account that this was the kickoff to DC Universe. Like, come on, what were y'all thinking? But hey man, like, other than those 3 drawn out points I made, the show was pretty good. So what's next for our Mighty Morphin Teen Titans? Technically, it's just the Titans. Well, if the season 2 first look is anything to go by, it looks like the show is embracing its campy comic book origins, which is exactly the breath of fresh air that this show needed. Between the first and second season, DC Universe had 2 more live-action babies, Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing. Doom Patrol is technically a spin-off of Titans, but it's so unique in its own special little way that it could almost be in an entirely different continuity altogether. The most special part about Doom Patrol, however, is its fearlessness. Doom Patrol is honestly the single best comic book TV show I've ever seen. The way it embraces the weirdness of its comic and its unapologetic presentation of said weirdness is something I've personally never seen before, and I enjoyed every waking minute of it. Swamp Thing is also up there with comic book campiness embracing. The costume design and practical effects alone is also incredible. It's just a darn shame we're never going to see anything more than the 10 episodes we were offered. That's a whole other video. If there's a lesson that Titans can learn from these 2 shows, is to not be so afraid to embrace your origins. Be wacky, be creative, but above all, be fun. That's, if I can summarize all of my complaints about the show into one, it's just that it wasn't fun enough. You know, there was those moments where it kind of seeped through, but not enough to justify the entire show. And keep in mind, I did very much still enjoy the show, but after watching a show like Doom Patrol, it just makes me look back on it in disappointment. You don't have to be dark and gritty for us to take you serious. You've already shown us that you can do some amazing thing with your characters, now just keep that up. So don't be so afraid of your origins. In the words of the great Rafiki, yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Hakuna Matata, everyone. Thanks for watching. That was pretty okay.
Awesome.
You can't give me 3 money stocks?
No, because by the time I was supposed to see the stocks, the game.
Not even if I give you a Scooby snack? Well, what about 2 Scooby snacks?
Crikey, I don't know.
Crikey? Who in the Scooby universe says crikey? Maybe Fred, because he doesn't have a catchphrase. In the words of the great Rafiki, yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run. God, another plane? Are you serious? I live right next to an airport, so there's planes every 15 seconds. You done?